This is Baruch Fleischman, and you're listening to the Tikkun Elevator Kollel. This is Mizmor Kaf Aleph, also known as Psalm 21. These are actually songs, the songs of our king, King David. The Jewish people right now, many of us are back in our land, and we're trying to get back into our land, and there's a lot of resistance, as everyone knows, and not the least from the State Department of the United States right now in the year 5784, 2024 in the current calendar. The psalm is dedicated to two kings. It's interesting what he says here, David and Messiah, which we refer to as Moshiach. Now that is according to Rashi. Now throughout these commentaries or these introductions, he brings different commentaries. So Rashi is 1,000 years ago, a little bit more than that maybe, in France, in northern France. And he was a student who accumulated a tremendous amount of wisdom of the ancients. And so his opinions are based on very long tradition of understanding and deep research. Indeed, the future Redeemer of Israel is also called David. The Messiah, the Moshiach, will be called David as well. Now, David is also the word Dod, which means the loved one. Called David, as the prophet says, V'David Avdi Nasi Lahem La'olam. And David, my servant, will be a prince for them forever. Both suffer from enemies who deny their sovereignty. David by those who taunt him about Bathsheba. That's Rashi's opinion, that it was a terrible blemish in regards to what he did there. And Moshiach, the Messiah, by Gog Magog, the tremendous war which is coming, and that's according to the commentary called the Radak. So he says ultimately both overcome their enemies and are universally accepted. The Rambam, Maimonides, describes the magnificence of Moshiach, and this is the words that he uses. Now, I have to understand that Maimonides is a very literal, basic, simple meaning teacher. That king who will rise from the seed of David, will possess wisdom surpassing that of Solomon, and he will be a great prophet close to the level of Moses. Therefore he will teach the entire nation and guide them on the path of God. And all of the Gentile nations will assemble to listen to him. That's the Rambam. Finally, this psalm teaches that the splendor of true kings is not an ordinary earthly glow. It is a reflection of the great faith in Hashem, which radiates from their ever-confident hearts. Ki hamelech botech b'Hashem, because the king trusts in Hashem. This is the true power behind the throne. Let's take a look at the psalm itself. The psalm says, for the conductor, a song of David. Hashem, in your might, the king rejoices, and in your salvation how greatly does he exult. You have granted him his heart's desire, and the utterance of his lips. You have not withheld. You preceded him with blessings of good. You placed on his head a crown of gold, pure gold. Life he asked of you. He gave it to him. Length of days forever and ever. Great is his glory in your salvation, majesty and splendor. You conferred upon him, for you made him a blessing forever. You gladdened him with the joy of your presence. For the king trusts in Hashem, and in the kindness of the Most High. That will not falter. Your hand will find all of your foes. Your right hand will find your enemies. Make them as a fiery furnace at the time of your anger. May Hashem consume them in his wrath. Let a fire devour them. Destroy their children from the earth and their offspring from the sons of men. For they have directed evil against you. They have devised evil plots, which they cannot carry out. For you shall place them as a portion apart, with your bowstring, which you aim at their faces. Be exalted, Hashem, in your might. We shall sing and chant the praise of your omnipotence. This is Baruch Fleischman. You've been listening to the Tikkun Elevator Kolo.